Hi guys, welcome back to Raw Synergy TV. I wanted to share some updates with you about what's been going on with me. To start off, back in the very beginning when I first went raw, you guys all remember how I talked about how all of my hormonal migraines vanished, my PMS completely vanished, I had absolutely no cramps, my cycles were like totally balanced, totally normal. Well, over time, I started noticing some of these things creeping back into the picture, such as some of my hormonal migraines. I started getting them again, and it was really frustrating for me. Now, they weren't as bad as they used to be before going raw. However, I was still getting them, and they're just so frustrating. Also, as you notice over time, I kind of went from absolutely no cramping to some cramping, but not enough to have to take any Advil or any type of pain medication or anything like that. So last year, I even mentioned in a video that I was noticing some hormonal issues, and I was thinking that it had to do with a lack of omega-3s, and that's about the time where I was starting to add in some more fats into my diet, some healthy fats like chia seeds and hemp seeds. And while that was making a difference for me, it wasn't making the kind of difference that I thought it was having. I've been racking my brain for a really long time trying to figure out what was it that I was doing in the beginning of my raw food journey that all of this stuff just came to a screeching halt and everything was like so perfect. And then over time, things started to change. Well, last year I started having major cravings for vinegar. And as you may know, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, vinegar was one of the hardest things for me to give up. Like way harder than cooked food. So I kept vinegar in my diet for quite a while because it was the hardest thing for me to give up. And last year I started really craving it again. And my husband was having ketchup and the most amazing mustard on his Engine 2 Diet burgers. He really likes the curry lentil burgers, and he was putting organic ketchup and this unbelievable mustard on his burgers, and the smell of that was like just attracting me so much that I actually would have a little bit of his mustard and a little bit of his ketchup once in a while. I also make him fresh salad dressing with raw apple cider vinegar, and I started to become more attracted to that, and I really wanted it. So I decided to give into that again, especially because the raw vinegar is raw, and I started reading a lot about the experiences people would have when they take apple cider vinegar. Now, on the raw food diet, there are some people who include vinegar in their diet, and then you have like the natural hygiene people and some other raw fooders who don't do any type of vinegar, and they feel that it's really bad for the body. I don't know for sure either way. The only thing that I know is that I did a 2-month experiment where I included 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in my nighttime meal. I would just incorporate it into my raw dressings, and noticed that the hormonal migraines completely went away again, and my cramping just became next to nothing again. I found this very interesting. So I contacted Don Bennett and told him, look, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm experiencing, what do you think of this? And he said, you might have low stomach acid. It kind of makes sense to me because some of the symptoms of low stomach acid are symptoms that I've experienced. So I'll tell you what they are. These are all the symptoms. I don't have all of these symptoms, but these are some of the symptoms. heartburn, GERD, indigestion and bloating, burping or gas after meals, excessive fullness or discomfort after meals, constipation and or diarrhea, chronic intestinal infections, undigested food and stools, food allergies and intolerances and sensitivities, acne, chronic fatigue, mineral and nutrient deficiencies including iron and or vitamin B12, dry skin or hair, weak or cracked nails, asthma, depression, osteoporosis, and any autoimmune disease diagnosis. Now, I have had definitely indigestion and bloating. I've had excessive fullness at times after meals. Of course, you all know I've suffered from constipation for my entire life before coming to the raw food diet. Food allergies and sensitivities. Acne. I was low in B12, and I do have a tendency towards dry skin. I do have a tendency towards weak and cracked nails, and I did also suffer from a little bit of mild depression. So that's quite a few things on this list, so it kind of made sense that I could have this. So he suggested getting a test called the Heidelberg test, where you swallow this capsule and the capsule sends information back to a transmitter about your stomach acid levels, and that is something that I'm really seriously considering having done. And it's expensive. It's like $350 to get this test done, but I think it would help to answer a lot of questions if I am actually really low in stomach acid. Another thing that I personally have noticed, that when I eat certain types of fats like walnuts and even avocado, if I have more avocado than I'm typically used to, I'll notice that I'll break out on my back. And pretty quickly too, like within a matter of a few hours or definitely the next day, I'll definitely notice that my back has a lot of pimply breakouts. And that kind of makes sense, because if you're low in stomach acid, you have a harder time digesting proteins and fats. So since adding the raw apple cider vinegar into my diet again, I've noticed that the headaches have disappeared, the hormonal migraines. I also have been getting really interesting kind of breakouts around my neck and jawline area. I don't know if you can see here or on this side. I tend to usually break out more on this side, but usually around the time of my ovulation I start breaking out, and sometimes it's itchy, sometimes it's not, but there's usually these funky red bumps here, and sometimes it'll kind of come up into higher into my jawline as well. And I haven't really noticed as much of an improvement in this, except that it is a little bit less itchy. And I've also noticed that usually after I wash my hair, my scalp is always itchy the very next day. And that hasn't been happening since I've been doing the apple cider vinegar. I've also noticed that I've had a little bit of less hair coming out. You know, you naturally shed a certain amount of hair, and you usually know the amount that comes out. I don't shed like an enormous amount of hair, but I just kind of feel like I've been shedding a little less. I don't know, it's not a science or a fact. It just kind of seems that way. So I wanted to put that out and share that with you, because I know I've heard so many people talk about these issues of being super bloated after eating large fruit meals or after eating raw for a while, and I don't know if this has anything to do with that, and that's why I'm sharing, because this is all part of the journey. It's all just a part of the learning and growing process on a raw food diet. So hopefully my sharing will help you guys to look into maybe some of these issues that you're having might be related. So you can look up hypochlorhydria. I think that's how you say it. It's the term for low stomach acid. And there are different things that you can try to see if you have it. The Heidelberg test is the most accurate, and that's why I want to go get that test done, because I want to know for sure. And if it is, I can start taking some HCl tablets with my evening meals. I don't know how it works with just plain fruit meals, if I would need to take it with the fruit meals or if it would only be when I'm consuming some fats during a meal. So that's something that I have to find out. But I just wanted to share with you, just in case this might be something for you to look into, because apparently this is a really common problem that a lot of people have and they don't know that they have low stomach acid. In other news, I'm really excited because my husband and I are going to Woodstock Fruit Festival, Hawaii this year, which is actually happening next month. I'm really excited that my husband is finally coming with me to a fruit festival. And I hope that you guys are going to be there too, because I would love to meet you guys in person if I haven't already, and if we've already met and you're going to be there, I can't wait to see you again. And we are on the waiting list for a private room for the Woodstock Fruit Festival in New York, and hopefully if a private room opens up, hopefully we'll have the funds to go there as well this year. And for those of you who've asked about my husband in the past, wanting to follow him on Facebook or Instagram, and wanting to know more about what he eats, because he eats a cooked vegan diet. He eats very similar to the 80-10-10 guidelines, only he eats cooked food. So those of you who want to follow him, you can find him at all of the social media sites, just /ClearFacts. And I'll put his links below so you can follow him as well and get to know him too. And the final thing that I wanted to mention was there is a new social media website out there that is so much like Facebook. However, the benefits of this particular website is that for every post you make or put up, you can make money, because the company, rather than keeping all the profits from the advertising for themselves, they're actually distributing it to all of their users. It's called TSU.co, and you have to be invited by somebody in order to sign up. And I recently signed up. It's a really cool website, and if you would like an invitation, I'm going to put a link in the information box below, or you can go to sue.co/raw synergy to receive an invitation. And it would be great to connect with you there and have you make some money as well from all the people that you sign up. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please click the like button and share it with your friends. And I will see you guys next time.